Are you thinking about moving to Las Vegas? Today we're going to explore Las Vegas for consideration as a potential place to move. We'll look into home prices, job opportunities, lifestyle, amenities, safety, cost of living, and more, which may help you make a decision if you're thinking about moving there too. Stay to the end, where the hubby and I will share our thoughts and see if we agree. We're empty nesters who've moved around a lot. Currently, we're living in Lake Tahoe, Nevada, but long term, we're thinking we need to find a better place for retirement.
We know perfection doesn't exist, but we want to find the closest thing.
Las Vegas has a population of about 670,000, most of the people being between 35 and 54 years old. It has the highest population in Nevada and is the 25th most populated city in the U.S. Las Vegas officially incorporated on May 15, 1905, when 110 acres of land were auctioned off by the railroad company who had purchased it to expand the nation's railroad system. While dude ranches were popular in Vegas in the 1930s, the first themed hotel and casino opened in about 1941 and was quickly followed by 3 more over the next 7 years.
Of course, Vegas is known for its gaming and entertainment industries. What's kind of interesting is that sales is the #1 profession in Las Vegas, and food prep and office administration is number 2 and number 3, respectively. There are hundreds of startups in Las Vegas and growing. It's a pretty intense scene. Some of the top startups in Vegas are Griffin Digital Mining, Influential, and Pidgeonly, I think is the way you pronounce it. Is that right?
The median list price for a single-family home in Las Vegas is currently around $530,000, which is a whole lot higher than it used to be, while the median list price for a condominium is $239,000, with the average number of days on the market at 85 for a single-family home or 96 for a condominium. According to Altos Research, Las Vegas is in a strong seller's market as of this recording in December of 2021. The average rent for an 892 square foot apartment is $1,341 per month, according to Rent Cafe. So we're in the early phases of deciding where to live, which means we're in internet research mode. So top neighborhoods that keep coming up for us are Centennial Hills, Summerlin, Southern Highlands, Lake Las Vegas, and much of Henderson, but there are a lot of others. The kinds of homes you'll find in Las Vegas do vary in architectural style and usually include Mediterranean, ranch, Pueblo, and Spanish-inspired. But there are some cool mid-century modern ones tucked away in some of the older neighborhoods near the Strip, so I think those neighborhoods would be fun to look at, especially if there's no HOA. And there are some pretty luxurious mansions all around Las Vegas if that's in your budget.
If you're thinking about putting your Las Vegas purchase on Airbnb, note that Las Vegas heavily regulates short-term rentals, also known as STRs. They're only allowed in owner-occupied homes with 3 bedrooms or less and must be 660 feet apart. So just keep that in mind. High-speed internet, who needs that? Is available from companies like CenturyLink, Cox, HughesNet, and others, starting at $34.95 a month. Some good news is that generally utility costs, power, water, gas, trash, are relatively low compared to the rest of the country, according to Numbeo.com. AreaVibe.com's cost of living score is 102, which essentially is a C-, and livability score is 70. It ranks, I think, over 12,000 in American cities, so that's pretty poor. I think what's bringing it down is crime, which is essentially an F there. It's pretty bad. And also the schools are pretty poor. It gets an F also. Overall, Area Vibe rates Las Vegas a C+, so that might affect our decision.
As you'd expect, Las Vegas has an incredible array of restaurants all over town. From the comfort food of Honey Salt, to Taiwanese offerings at Every Grain, to the wildly popular Oyster Bar. The city is also home to multiple coffee shop brands like Vesta Coffee Roasters, and breweries such as Able Baker Brewing and Banger Brewing. Gotta love that name. I totally want to try their beer. Some of the most iconic dining establishments in Las Vegas include the Peppermill. Yes, the actual Peppermill. Come on. It's iconic. Golden Steer Steakhouse and Top of the World, famous for its varied drink menu and an impressive offering of chilled and raw seafood, which sounds really, really good. These names have all been recommended to us, but if you know Las Vegas and have better suggestions, put them in the comments below. We love good eateries.
Obviously, Las Vegas is world-renowned for its entertainment and the Strip. But of course, Vegas has a tremendous nightlife scene. There's just a lot of other things to do. For instance, we hear that the Chateau nightclub and Foundation Room are both wildly popular in Vegas. Of course, there are plenty of bars and lounges sprawling across the city, including the Commonwealth and the Chandelier Bar. So that'll be interesting to check out when we visit. For moviegoers like me, Regal, Red Rock, IMAX, and 4DX offer some of the most amazing cinematic experiences apparently in the country. So that'll be worth checking out. For groceries, look for Albertsons, Winco Foods, and Vaughn's in almost every neighborhood. But of course, Whole Foods and Trader Joe's do sprinkle the sprawl if you're interested in higher end offerings. There's great shopping in Vegas too. You can check out the premium outlets for designer stores at outlet pricing. And you can check out the Forum shops at Caesar's Palace, the Grand Canal shops, and the Miracle Mile shops. There's also upscale outdoor retail in downtown Henderson, Summerlin, and Tivoli Village.
Most tourist attractions in Las Vegas do revolve around the Strip with its casinos, shopping, shows, and restaurants. But there are other interesting things to do, including the Fremont Experience, helicopter rides over the Grand Canyon, or walking in the gardens at the Spring Preserve, which I'd never heard about before, so I'd actually love to visit. There's also apparently a really vibrant art scene in Las Vegas. The Bellagio Gallery partners with foundations and museums from around the world to bring in some truly first-class art exhibitions. And there are numerous art galleries on the Strip that do offer high-quality collectible art for sale. And in the Arts District, aka 18B, you'll find a wide array of smaller art galleries and funky shops and restaurants and even some offbeat theater. I had no idea this neighborhood existed until I started doing some research, so that's one I'd look forward to seeing in person.
If you're a sports fan, you are going to want to check out the NFL Raiders, the NHL Vegas Golden Knights, and the WNBA Las Vegas Aces. There are also numerous minor league teams and semi-pro teams. There's always some sports available. Apparently, Vegas has some awesome parks and trails. I didn't really know that. Pecco Ranch walking trail stretches almost 3 miles, including the 18-hole golf course. The Burkholder Trail and Historic Railroad Trail both feature great biking. Well, that'll be fun if you can handle the heat. We've learned that there are family parks all over the city, which will be great for your kids.
Las Vegas is served by McCarran International Airport, which we've always found to be pretty easy to get into and out of whenever we've gone there. It also has numerous international flights and is most noted for its wide array of duty-free shops and the aviation museum inside. Getting around in Las Vegas on public transportation seems easy with plenty of options. In addition to Uber, Lyft, and other ride-sharing services, there's also a monorail that runs up and down the Strip and free Strip trams. There are multiple bus services in and around the city, including Deuce, a double-decker bus, SDX, and RTC. You will probably want a car living in Las Vegas. Parking is free in most places, but in and around the Strip, the costs range from $6 to $10 an hour. Car insurance is about $2,640 a year. Nevada is one of the most expensive states in the nation for car insurance. My theory is this: because everybody goes to Las Vegas, they get drunk and they party and they drive up the rates for everyone. But if you have a different theory, put it in the comments below.
Las Vegas has a number of schools and universities. Area Vibes rate schools an F, so it's probably not the best for public schools. But on the other hand, there are many highly regarded private schools to choose from in Las Vegas, including Alexander Dawson School, the Challenger School Summerlin, and the International Christian Academy. There are also many local homeschooling groups that support education at home.
If you're a person of faith, you will find a vast array of churches in Las Vegas, including congregations for Catholics, Protestants, Jews, Muslims, Buddhists, and more. And if you're a member of the LGBTQ community, you'll find a ton of resources in the city, including the LGBTQ Center of Southern Nevada, Henderson Equality Center, and Las Vegas Trans Pride. Las Vegas also has a lot of community groups that you can become involved with, including the Las Vegas Rescue Mission, Vegas Roots Community Garden, and Spread the Word Nevada, just to name a few.
Hey, so what do you think about moving to Las Vegas? Could you live there? Do you live there now? If so, what's it like? Let us know in the comments below.
As As for COVID restrictions, Las Vegas is open for business without capacity limits. The state of Nevada does mandate, however, that everyone wear a mask in indoor public settings. But as of August 16th, all large indoor events with over 4,000 attendees may show proof of vaccination as an exemption to the indoor mask requirement. Overall, pretty lightweight restrictions, which we think is a good thing. Las Vegas has a lot of venues for personal fitness. So in addition to the usual big name gyms, you'll find places like Power Yoga, plus Pilates, plus Fitness, Kintsugi Yoga, and Kilo Club, which all look like pretty good options.
The good news is that Vegas has a number of really great world-class hospitals, such as Valley Hospital Medical Center, Summerlin Hospital Medical Center, and the Sunrise Hospital Medical Center. Seniors have a choice of multiple assisted living facilities in Las Vegas, including Avamere at Cheyenne, Aegis Living Las Vegas, Oakley Assisted Living, and Silver Sky at Deer Springs Assisted Living. Pet owners have several good vet and kennel options. Boca Park Animal Hospital, Pet Health Animal Hospital, and just like home, doggy and grooming.
Las Vegas weather is generally hot because it is in the middle of a desert, but at least it's a dry heat. Summertime temperatures average 104 degrees in July, but it can go over 115. And I remember a few years ago when we were visiting with the kids, I think it was 113 outside. We walked out of the hotel, which was of course nicely air conditioned, and for a minute it felt fantastic because they were keeping the AC pretty cool in there, and it was like walking into this wall of heat. And pretty quickly it was oppressive and you just wanted to cross the street and get into the next air-conditioned environment. So that is the summertime reality. Winters are generally mild but do sometimes drop into the upper 30s. Spring and fall are significantly milder with temperatures ranging from 50 to 80 degrees. So those two seasons I think are definitely the best times of year to visit. Sadly, Las Vegas crime is 17% higher than the national average. Property, theft, and violent crimes are the top three categories. To combat the problem, Metro Police have recently begun focusing their efforts on the Strip, where many of the crimes take place. Clark County officials estimate that 34,397 people, or 1.8% of the Las Vegas population, is homeless. Some actually living underground in the sewers. City leaders are working with local shelters to get these folks access to the resources they need, but the truth is not all of them want the help. As for the creepy crawlies to watch out for in Las Vegas, you'll find cicadas, scorpions, cockroaches, ants, spiders, elm root borers, bees, and crickets. You will also want to keep an eye out for mountain lions and Gila monsters if you go hiking outside of the city.
Surprise, surprise. Las Vegas city government has a reputation for financial corruption. This was reported by the Las Vegas Review-Journal. Apparently, multiple city officials have used campaign funds and taxpayer money for travel and expensive restaurants, among other things. And I can imagine those other things. The city received a C from the data-z.org website regarding its overall fiscal state. In the last presidential election, 53% voted Democratic and 44% voted Republican. So somewhat of a purple state, and 2% voted independent. If you're looking for low sales tax, Vegas ain't it. Its sales tax is 8.38%, making it one of the highest in the nation. However, it's got one of the lowest property taxes at 0.53%. So it's better to buy a home and own a home than it is to buy cheese. So the bigger tax benefit is that there's no state income tax in Nevada. It's a huge benefit, and especially compared to California. So that kind of makes up for the sales tax, in my opinion. So if you're a business in Las Vegas, this is good news for you. It's really one of the most business-friendly cities in the country. There's no business income tax, personal income tax, or franchise tax. So take all that into consideration. Las Vegas's infrastructure is actually considered very good, as is most of the rest of Nevada. The staffing of first responders is considered good, which is reflected in quick response times. So, for example, the Clark County Fire Department has an average response time of about 7 minutes and 34 seconds, according to the Elite Las Vegas Medical Center's website.
If you're a single or a couple that wants a reasonably priced city life with gobs of food and fun and entertainment at your fingertips, then Vegas might be the place for you. If you have a family and you're looking for newer, more affordable homes, then Las Vegas is definitely an option, but you're going to want to look carefully at the neighborhood schools or consider enrolling in a private school or homeschooling. If you worry about crime, maybe consider Summerlin, Lake Las Vegas, Henderson, or maybe some of the smaller communities. Just check with the local police to get the crime rates for any neighborhood you're considering. So, Las Vegas on a scale of 1 to 10, for me, how would I rank it as a place to possibly live? I would probably give it a 6 or a 7. And for me, it's in the middle of a desert, and I'm much more of a trees and mountains and meadows kind of person. I just love that kind of scenery around me. And it just seems like an island in the middle of the desert with not a lot of day trips around that you can go to. Now, I know there's Red Rock State Park, and there's St. George not too far away, Utah, and Hoover Dam, and Grand Canyon, and Mount Charleston, which seems like a fun area to explore. But to me, it just isn't enough good hiking around, and that's just something I prioritize. If I were never going to leave my house and I just wanted to live in a nice suburban neighborhood like Henderson maybe, where I could just go to the restaurants for lunch and go shopping and do whatever and go home and live there all the time, walk around the neighborhood, then yeah, that could be a really nice, affordable lifestyle. Other than that, I don't know, we're still active. What do you think?
I would not rate it that highly. I would rate it more of a 4 or a 5. I like Vegas. It's exciting. How can you not say that? I've visited maybe 10 times or more in my life for various conventions, but I like the idea of visiting Vegas, like more than living in Vegas. It gives me more of an excitement when I go there. I think the water is the biggest concern I have. Having, the drought and rationing, it's a scary thing when you consider it's a huge, huge population and growing. I work at home for the most part, so the heat doesn't usually matter to me with AC and so forth, but I like to go outside. I like to hike and walk and bike and so forth, so it's my biggest concern. I do like the idea of maybe increased chances of alien invasions or sightings. That's potentially exciting. Or visiting Area 51. No, I think also the strip club scene is really exciting to me. I don't think my wife cares.
So that's what we think, and let us know what you think down in the comments, and we're just gonna keep on looking. And if you're thinking of moving to Las Vegas or anywhere nationwide, we highly, highly recommend that you work with a savvy, knowledgeable local real estate agent to help you buy your new home and to help you sell your old one. If you need an introduction, let us know. We know a ton of great realtors across the U.S. Our team is happy to make that personal introduction. And if you want to learn more about making a big move anywhere in the U.S., click this video here. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.